I want to introduce Governor Howard Dean, our honored speaker today.
Thank you. All right. Think about this for a minute. The motto of the Republicans is borrow and spend, borrow and spend, borrow and spend. You can't trust Republicans with your money, and the people of Idaho are going to find that out sooner or later, and those guys are going to be gone, and you're going to be the majority leader. The truth of the matter is, here are fundamental values. First of all, we are more conservative about money in this party than the Republicans are. We don't run up the national debt the way they did. That is a fact. Bill Clinton, who I still think is the smartest mind in American politics, once said, people will always vote for somebody who's strong and wrong before they'll vote for somebody who's weak and right. And we have got to be tougher about what we believe and not take any you-know-what from the far right of the Republican Party. So I asked at one point, okay, how many of you all are on Medicare? 1,000 people out of the 2,500 raised their hand. So it was skewed towards older folks. How many of you would give up your Medicare? 4 people raised their hands, and I think 3 of them had early dementia. So, I mean, you all saw the slogans, keep the government's hand off by Medicare. This is a government-run single payer. We ought not, when the Fox people, I never use the word Fox and news in the same sense because it's an oxymoron, but when Fox talks about a socialist system, we have a socialist system. It's the best system in the country, and we give it to the people who deserve it the most, which is the veterans of the armed forces of the United States of America. Now, we have a single-payer system in this country. Everybody over 65 is in it. And even the Tea Party says, don't take that away from me. What is wrong with this picture? Progressives can be fiscally conservative and fiscally responsible and still deliver a social agenda that American can stand up and be proud against. We do not need to go back to the 50s that the Tea Party and the Republicans and the radicals want us to do. And I'm talking about the 1850s, not the 1950s. We can do better than this, and we will. Because we are still a great nation despite their efforts. Could you believe they ran on standing up for the Constitution, and when they finally got around to reading it, they found there were 6 or 8 parts that they thought ought to be repealed? Yeah. I like the Constitution of the United States of America the way it is, and I'm proud of America, and I don't want to change it. They think by giving tax breaks to big corporations and then move their jobs to China is good for America somehow. We don't think so. But the whole party really ought to have, you can cheer for that. Being tough is not in our nature. We are nice people. That's why we're Democrats. But there are times when our democracy is in danger, and this is one of them. If you listen to what the right-wing radicals say, they value their ideology more than they value democracy. The Speaker of the House in New Hampshire is a right-wing radical Tea Party Republican. He believes that students should not be able to vote in local elections because, he said this, they are too liberal and they don't know what they're talking about. The next thing, it'll be poor people, then it'll be Indians, members of minority groups, Democrats, whomever. They are not interested in democracy. What they are interested in is power. I never want to get to be like the Republican Party because we don't need 2 Republican parties in this country, and we ought to think about that when we're voting, too. The truth is, trusting people sometimes means trusting people we don't agree with. And I'm willing to do that, and I'm willing to work with Republicans. But what I'm not willing to do is give up the rights that the framers of our Constitution gave every single one of us. That I'm not willing to do. I'm not willing to take away votes from people because I think I know better than they do and they disagree with me. That goes too far. This is a group of people who do not value the core value of what this country is about, and that is the right of every single American to determine their own fate and have something to say about who's going to govern us. That is a core difference between these 2 parties, and we need to be very tough about that and stand up for what we believe, because when we stand up for what we believe, we're not just standing up for the Democratic Party, we're standing up for America. Thanks very much.